Hello, my name is Mayonde and I'm an artist from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm about to have a conversation with Maina on Orange Connect. Stick around and listen to what I have to say about worthiness. Don't want to miss it.
Welcome to the final stroke bonus episode of this season. My name is Kevin Maina, aka Minor Mind, and I'm so happy that you have been here. Please, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for subscribing, for watching, for commenting, for loving on this channel. We couldn't do it without you. And today, as I always am, I'm excited to have Mrs. Mayonde or Miss Mayonde.
Yeah, and Mrs. I'm married.
Yeah, you are married. But I figured when you say Mrs., you have to mention the name that you picked up.
Who makes these rules?
I just assumed, guys. I just assumed. Mayonde,
Hey.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
A lot of people don't know, but secretly I call her Diana.
Hey! Diana, oh, Diana.
Oh, there you go. Welcome.
Thank you so
How are you
much.
feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful set.
It's a beautiful set. Look, we got plants.
How often do you go somewhere and sit on the pillows? Just
We're
to
so
relax.
zen.
You know what I mean?
We're so chill.
Earthing.
You know, earthing.
At your core. Focused, meditating.
Yes.
So welcome to the
love
Orange
it.
Connect. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We're excited to talk about whatever is going on. You just dropped some vibes for us. I've been listening
Boom.
all through, and wow. But before that, we have some dilemmas sent in by minders. That's the Minor Mind community. And we're going to help them figure it out.
Let's do it. Let's go.
So I'll read the first one. You can read the second.
Okay.
And I'll finish with the third. So first dilemma, I'm in law school. Congratulations. And I'm trying to keep my love life alive. Right. I'm in law school and trying to keep my love life alive is a real challenge. How do I make time for romance amidst the legal studies? So I'm assuming law school is heavy.
Yeah.
Right? And they're trying to keep their love life alive. Maybe they have someone that they're trying to prioritize, but they can't because of all that they're doing.
The time.
Yes.
Time.
So I'm curious to hear what you have to say to them.
You know, you have to prioritize fun. If you're prioritizing your studies, you also have to, you're young.
Okay.
Like, you don't know how much time you have in this life. So you need to make space for fun. And if you have fun, then there are opportunities for you to meet people or be in spaces where you can meet people.
Yes.
Maybe you have someone already, and so you need to be intentional about, you know, connecting.
Yeah.
Let's do something fun together. Let's go watch a movie. Let's go skating. Let's go. And that activity will probably take you like 3 hours max, right?
Yeah. But then the activities you can, but what about like a romance? You know, I'm thinking of like a full-on relationship.
But like, romance is in the simple things, really.
That's true.
If you're together, it's really about spending time together and having fun and having opportunities to kiss. You have to be like going on dates, like doing things that are fun, and you're laughing, and before you know it, there's a romance.
Yeah.
So my suggestion would just be like, prioritize fun, and then it will flow from the fun.
Okay.
Create the atmosphere for you to be together. Yeah.
There you go.
Vibes.
I remember I had the same dilemma back in campus.
Okay.
And I picked my studies.
Mm.
You know, I was just like,
I got to pass.
I can't multitask.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also had fun. And I think looking back now, I did go out on dates. I was just not committed to anyone.
That's fine.
And I think that gave me the opportunity to just figure out myself and not, I think when people think of romance, like you said, it's in the fun things. It's not committing necessarily.
Like, we have to be romantic now.
We're married. Come and clean my clothes. No. Like just have the fun and enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an easy one. You want to read the second?
Yay. Okay. Dilemma number 2. I often find it hard to look at myself in the mirror and truly love what I see. Any tips on starting my journey towards self-love?
I have this poem called Eggshell, and it's about struggling to look at yourself in the mirror, literally, like your reflection.
Okay.
So I often struggle to look at myself in the starting self-love. Here's what I'd say, and I think something that has helped me is focusing on the things that you are good at while you're starting to figure out to love yourself.
Okay.
Because I've found more often than not, self-love, the struggle of self-love is between what you think you're deficient of, right? And what you're actually. So you tend to, for example, if you're a kind person, you need to be aware of the fact that, and actually, be proud of yourself. Like, I'm a kind human being.
Yeah.
But for many people, it's like that doesn't count. If it's not like valuable, like I'm offering something like skill, whatnot.
Service.
If I'm not doing something that I'm seeing someone else doing, then whatever I have is not valuable. So for me, I would say, try to look deeper into those things that you're actually good at. And they could be the most basic, quote unquote, like being kind, being lovable, being easy to talk to. Once you start shining a light on those, then slowly it grows and you start accepting all other bits and parts of yourself. And now you can see where you easily sort of fit in and how your presence being here is actually very important. So yeah.
So like take your mind off of how you look in the mirror per se, like visually, and focus on the internal, like what am I good at as a person?
100%. And that also means, step by step, that means you actually put in the work to make yourself better. Because if I'm saying, okay, I'm good at words and saying something, then I go full blown into figuring out how can I make that even better. Naturally, you start loving yourself. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's
why that has really struck a chord with me is because like I just had a baby and my body has changed a lot. So I find it hard to like love what I see because I've always been the baby
Really?
figure eight. I've always been
right.
And now I'm not that right now.
The number.
I know I can work towards it, but like taking my mind off of the aesthetic of my physical being and focusing on who I am, like what is good about me as a person, what is good about my soul, about what I bring energy-wise to a space is a nice shift because I thought you meant like now focus on something you like now I like my skin or now I like my eyes, but you're like, no, just even ignore the physical completely. Who are you as a person? So that's really amazing. Thank you. I'm going to carry that.
And the fact that now there is another human being fully dependent on you and you're doing an amazing job. 7 months. That's a lot.
We're not crying, We're not crying.
What I mean? So
Thank you.
That's another layer to yourself, another version of yourself that you probably would have not met if you didn't go through that process of motherhood in this case.
Amen. Snap. Do we snap on this podcast?
It's allowed. It's allowed.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you want to add or you just echo what I've said?
I echo. I've received that one.
Awesome. The last dilemma. My friend just won't stop comparing my 2 kids. And it's really bothering me. How do I let her know without ruining our friendship? That's a good question, considering that you're a new mom. My friend just won't stop comparing my 2 kids. And it's really bothering me. How do I let her know without ruining our friendship? Comparing, how?
Maybe she's like, oh, this kid is so smart and this one is not. I don't know, maybe it's not that extreme, but maybe it's like, oh, she's so pretty.
Yeah.
She's maybe not so pretty. I don't know if that's the comparison thing, but I think you're the biggest advocate for your kids and your kids really pay attention to what you say about them, how you handle people around them. So you gotta let them know you're not cool with it. And if that cannot, if the friendship cannot survive that honesty, then maybe it's not a friendship worth having because you mess with my babies.
That's true.
So stop.
It was the discussion we
right?
were having earlier about boundaries.
Yeah.
Like you can just set those boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I know we're friends, but can we not mention some names?
Yeah,
You
don't
know,
talk
like
about my kids.
yeah.
Okay, you can think it, but don't say it to them. Don't say it to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's if you sort of put your foot down and draw the line, then naturally, and if they're your friends, they should understand.
Yeah, it should be real. They should be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice I was doing it. If that's not the response, get out.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So Mayonde, as I said, I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Every time I interact with you, we have in passing at Nation.
Yes.
Every time I do, the song Nairobi just comes to my mind. Naina still listening.
Nairobi.
Okay.
Too far for Nairobi. Mahasala, Namadim Supu. Kawangware to Buru Buru. I love my city, oh yes I do. Nairobi.
Be honest. Do you love your city now? As is. As is.
With the flood waters and the...
Because
Okay.
when I listen to that song, there's so much life into it. I can imagine the session in studio.
Yeah.
Like there's so much, I just want to fly my city.
But you know, Nairobi is the people. Nairobi is the people. So we could look at all the flaws of the city, the flooding, the traffic, the crime. We could look at that.
Yeah.
But if you were just to look at Kenyans, Nairobians, the spirit, the resilience, the creativity.
Was that the thinking behind the song?
Yes. Yes. It's about the people. It's about the vibe. It's about the humor. It's about... Nairobi is such an interesting place to live in because we're exposed to so much from the world because of our access to internet and also just what we've been exposed to from around the world, really. And then we have our own vibe at the same time
100%.
because now it's the cultures from all over the country melting into this pot.
Yeah.
So Nairobi is popping. Nairobi is interesting. The culture, the music, the vibe, like it's the people.
How long ago was that, the Nairobi song?
Bro, I think it's like 7-8 years old.
7, 8 years.
Time has passed and time is
7,
just
8
like
years. 8 years
accelerating.
ago.
Yeah.
Where
It's
was
crazy. Where were you? Oh my God. 24 minutes 8.
8 years ago that, no, hold on. I was 16.
Yeah.
Damn. What do you miss about that period?
Teenager.
And
you were in high school.
But I'm still 30. Mentally, I'm still. So,
right.
What do you miss about that period? In terms of the music industry, being that you have been there from then now.
I don't miss anything at all. Because that was that was when life was...
Yeah?
You know, when you look back and you're like, wow, the glory of the Lord is real.
And then you're happy in that song.
No. That's when I was broke or busted and disgusted. Like, yo.
Yeah?
Yeah, so God has brought me a long way. And yeah, I guess I really don't miss anything from that time. But it was valuable because it built me. It made me who I am now. It gave me so much wisdom to struggle.
Yeah.
I don't know about people who don't get to experience struggle because that's really what forms, not to glorify struggle, but if it is in your life, know that it serves a purpose.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just gonna make you better. Diamonds under pressure. Yeah.
Hey, shine bright like a diamond now.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Let's go. Free concerts in here. I'm saying that because when I think back at that time, I also think what happened with that song in itself just pushed something in the industry. Like there were people creating certain type, and I miss Stone G. I literally listen to some of his songs till date. I'm sad they're not on streaming platforms, but they're downloaded on my YouTube. And I think it just pushed the industry in a certain way. And at that time, I don't know why I thought you were a gospel artist fully. I don't know why.
Because Jiwe was gospel, so anyone associated with Jiwe must be gospel.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're just figuring out that you were once a background vocalist
Mm-hmm.
who transitioned into becoming an independent artist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, at what point were you like, and this could go even way back to
Yeah.
your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was there a moment, maybe in your childhood, that you knew, first of all, I want to be a musician full on.
Mm.
And this is the point where I want to now venture independently.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that all just happening at the same time? Like, oh, here we are.
We're
Oh,
doing
cool.
this
This is good.
thing.
This sounds
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
It was a mix of all of that. So with Nairobi, I really just wanted to make a song to help me connect with the city, connect to the people. And so when this song came out, it really did open doors for me, and it was such a blessing. But then it was still really hard because I was figuring out my space after being a backing vocalist at Coke Studio Africa for a long time.
Yes.
And just seeing all these artists from around the continent who are thriving in their careers coming on this show, and we're backing them of all different kinds of music. And I'm like, I want to be like those guys. I don't want to just be backing them forever. In the next season of Cook Studio, may they be calling me as an artist. So that was really my attempt on trying to be an artist myself, like establish myself as a solo artist.
Yeah.
But there's so much that goes into that, into branding yourself, into making the right kind of music, into crossing over and having people listen to your music across the country. Like, those are things I guess I've been blessed to experience, but it came at such a high cost.
Yeah. And also bringing people together, because you did mad collabs. Bringing artists together and sort of even making those songs be a building block for them. And you are featuring them in the music. That's insane.
That was amazing. It really was. But like being a part of the music industry can weigh you down, because it can feel like you have such huge breakthrough moments, but then it doesn't like add up to anything substantial.
What do you
You
mean?
can have like a huge song like Nairobi, and it's like people love it. They're like, it should be the anthem of the city. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
But then now you're just like, okay, where are the gigs, where are the endorsements, okay, now you have to make a living as an artist.
Yes.
So that's really where the disconnect was for me, feeling like, okay, now I want to work. And I have this thing.
And 8 years ago, streaming was also not
as big as it is now. Yeah. So it was, YouTube, you had your YouTube and your Apple Music. People were kind of on Spotify, but not really. Unless like you had a VPN that was,
you're just...
Yeah. So the industry has grown a lot in the past 8 years, and people are really finding how to make their lanes and how to thrive and how to be artists in this city.
Yeah.
Because there was no formula, there was no like
100%. And I find that very
blueprint.
interesting, because those were some of the most influential moments, like when music was being done freestyle, like let's go to the booth, create something, and then you come out with an anthem, like you said.
Yeah.
But there's no structures protecting or guiding those artists. Is that why you took a break? Because you then took a break for a very long time. Became a mom.
I became a mom. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, let's go to the drawing board. What do I need to figure out? I don't know this business side. And for a long time, I was waiting for the business person who was going to come and show me how to figure it out. Like all these stories that you hear for big Hollywood divas, there's always the business person who comes into the picture.
Let me consult with my financier.
My management, my agent,
So but this time you had none of this.
Yeah, you're doing everything by yourself. You're trying to figure this thing out. And so I was just like, I felt like I was putting in so much effort and then I'm not bearing the fruit. So I'm like, how do I become like these artists who are touring the world, who are, it felt like Sauti Sol were the guys who had figured it out.
Yeah.
And all of us were just like...
Or who are figuring it out quicker.
It's
like, what
are you doing? How is this working, sir? Can we have a meeting behind the tent?
I know.
Yeah. So I'm grateful for Perform Music Incubator, because I kind of joined this music business program. It's really business education for the creative.
Muthoni drama queen.
With Muthoni, the drama queen. Yeah. So I was just like, here I am, I'm putting in the work, I have the songs, but it doesn't feel like it's translating into now making a living, being a working artist.
Yeah.
And the story of the struggling, starving artist is just so tired. Like, no, I don't want it anymore. What do I need to know? So now learning about branding and business and just understanding that you have to be the person who knows the business side now. You're not waiting for some savior.
Yeah.
You are the person who has to know, where's my brand going? What's the strategy? Where do we want to be in 5 years? Okay, what are the things we're putting in place? And there are lots of artists who are doing it really well and are really inspiring. So I've just been surveying the field for the past maybe 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. Because I really officially took a break in 2019. And so I've just been studying, learning, putting a song out here and there, but not really pursuing a music career.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to learn business and branding and really get that
structure.
Really get that part right so that...
I'm curious though, because there's a place I learned and also I've experienced. It's like the more you know, the more you overthink your craft or you feel limited. Like I sort of low-key miss the days where I just create, because now I'm also in the place where branding, business, it's like this leads to this. We have to...
Chess.
But so I'm thinking in the case where do you feel now there's more, with the education, with the knowledge that you have, there's more pressure? Because it could be twofolds. Either you're feeling like you have now more pressure, you're overthinking every single
move. Not really. And it's because there are a few lessons I learned that I think I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. And one of them is the principle of ikigai. It's a Japanese philosophy about how to find your purpose. And really, it's not as black and white as we were trained, that you pick this one thing that is now your career, and now you're an actor, or now you're a singer, or now you're an accountant. It's, what am I passionate about? What am I good at? What makes me money? What can I do just for fun? So the way you're saying you miss just creating for the sake of creating, you might find that you're a really good businessman and then you can just write poetry for fun. So it doesn't have to be this big thing that has to make you money. And it's being able to separate those different parts of you. But also another thing I really learned in Perform that helped me was that you can make your own lane, that success doesn't look a certain way. So like, let's say for me as a musician, success is being Beyonce. So having millions of fans and millions of records sold and touring the world, but I'm here in Kenya. So how can I be successful as an artist? Oh, sorry. How can I be successful as an artist without the millions of records sold, without the touring? What does success look like for me? It's making music that I love. It's having a show and all the people who care about me show up. If there are 200, focusing on those 200 people, building that audience, creating even like a cult following because they're your family now. So you don't have to have 2 million streams to be successful. Even those 1,000 streams, the fact that 1,000 people who cared and who will show up for your show and who... So really shifting that in my mind and being like, oh, I'm not a failure because I'm not Beyonce. I have something. I have an audience. I have people who've listened to my music. I have people who tell me like, your song kept me from taking my life. You know, those things matter. And that's success. So those are probably the things that helped me not feel the pressure of overthinking. It actually helped me focus on the positive and release the negative thoughts I had about myself.
I'm curious, for your life before becoming a mom and after, and how that has influenced you, like things that you used to worry then, compared to things that you worry now? Do you feel like there's more balance maybe in yourself, even just creating, knowing that there are bigger things to worry about
Yeah.
than just,
Yeah.
like when you're
Yeah.
young and wild and trying to figure it out? Tell me about that. Tell me about that shift.
Yeah, it's such a trippy experience, like growing a life in your body and then it comes out of you and then now you nurture it and keep it alive.
Yeah.
But you also see yourself and what your parents had to do for you. So that you were once that small, you were once that vulnerable, and your parents kept you alive. So I see a lot of myself in my child, and it's easy for me to be kinder to myself, to have more grace, because I had such a harsh self-critic. But I can't look at my son, who kind of looks like me, and love him so much, and then hate myself. Like, the way I was telling you, I have like body issues, like, because I've given birth.
Yes.
I look at my child and I look at his body and I look at who he is and I love him so much the way he is.
Yeah.
It's very hard to look at myself with a harsh lens anymore because of how I see him. I'm like, how can I see him with so much love and compassion and not myself? So it's kind of helped me see myself as a child again, love myself, appreciate myself. And yeah, it's so strange. It's such a trippy thing. Like, loving him has helped me to love myself.
There you have it, folks. Get babies.
Get babies.
Get babies.
They're miracles.
That's the answer I wanted. So if you're trying to get something like hit me up.
Okay. He's ready.
I am. For the sake of self-love, guys. That's all we're doing. Self-love, may I just see my child.
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
So I've been listening to your new EP.
Hey.
Start Again.
Start Again.
The album cover is amazing.
Thank you.
Who came up with the concept? I'm curious.
So it was I. But there's a really cool artist I know called Alfred Wango, and he paints. And he also does videography, and he did the BTS for my shoot. Yeah. And I was just curious because I like his aesthetic. Like, what if you worked on the album cover? I know you're not a graphic designer, but you paint. And then he's like, yeah, I see myself painting it. So
the butterfly wings
were painted. Yes.
There's no like digitally?
No, okay, he painted them digitally. Okay. You can do that with like an iPad, but like he infused his painting into the album artwork. Yeah. I just saw myself with like massive wings, like I'm about to take off, like in flight.
It's so well centered. I kept on looking at it and I'm like, this is well done. So for context, the album is you in a white
dress, yes.
And then you have the butterfly wings in color purple.
Yes.
That's your favorite color?
It's my favorite color.
I knew it.
It's my favorite color. And I was recently at the coast and I kept seeing this purple and orange butterfly. And it just felt like a sign from heaven, like, yeah, you've evolved, you've changed, you've metamorphosized. And so I was like, I need to incorporate that into the art. Because starting again, like, if you think of a butterfly and how the stages it goes through, the death of the caterpillar is the birth of the butterfly. It's a new beginning, it's a fresh start. So that's why I wanted to incorporate a butterfly, and I felt like God had given me wings after everything I've been through. I've seen Him restore my life bit by bit, and there are still areas that I'm like, God, this one needs attention. But when I look back, I'm like, oh, you fixed this, and you fixed that, and you fixed that, and it's a beautiful journey.
I mean, credit to you. The sound is so rich. We were listening to it with Carol, and you were like, every song has a different vibe into it. And needless to say, Start Again is my favorite because the messaging is just so raw. And I kept on thinking, but Mayonde, are you really starting again?
I am.
What do you mean starting again? Isn't it like a continuation of? Because if you say Mayonde, I don't know. I mean,
it's a new version. It's a new beginning because I don't think I've experienced the version of me without fear, the version of me without shame, the version of me without low self-esteem, the version of me without unworthiness. Like, I've lived a whole lifetime in a certain mindset and then to see God switch it, because you can't do it for yourself. I tried so hard. I could not fix myself. And then to pray and to see God answer your prayers, like to actually have an encounter with God, to experience God's hand on your life and to see him switch a mindset. That's like, it's really trippy.
Yeah.
It's really trippy. But to exist one way and then something happens and then you exist in a completely other way. That like
Interesting.
slice in time, it's the biggest experience of my life, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
And getting babies. Remember, again, if you want to.
Yeah. The babies were part of that. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It was part of that shift.
That experience of
of the shifting. Yeah.
Wow. I can see that now. Because for me, I was like, I get the idea of it's fresh, rejuvenating, but also in a way, it's a continuation of something that you started, perhaps prematurely, had to take a break. But then the concept of you experiencing yourself in a different way, then now I can get the idea of starting again.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Okay. Wait, I want to hear that a bit more when you're saying it's a continuation and not a... What do you mean by that?
So initially, speaking from a fan perspective,
all right,
as a fan,
okay,
I was like, if you're saying starting again, I'm like, there's so much, because right now we are speaking about you at that time. You weren't even sure what you're doing when you're even working on the song. You're so depressed. As a fan, all I saw then was, damn, she's amazing. She's an amazing artist.
Oh my Lord.
When I listen to the song Start Again, it genuinely gives you a vibe of like, I'm starting again.
Yes.
For me, in my mind, I'm like, but are you really? Like you built up so much.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like it's a continuation of the version of you that we knew, but there's a new sound to it. It's like building blocks. That was the foundation.
I love that. Okay.
This is now you building, like sprucing up the roof.
Yeah. But you still had something,
exactly.
right?
Now hearing you sort of say the sort of culmination into this new version, then now it makes sense. It's like, I can see that. You are also experiencing yourself anew. We are experiencing you in continuation.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get that. I really get that.
So hence why I was like, are you really starting again?
Yeah. But if Start Again resonates with you, is there a place in your life that you're starting again? Or why does the song resonate with you?
I think it resonates with me deeply because I feel like I've gone through those two cycles of like starting again. And whilst I'm going through the cycles of starting again, I'm still struggling with letting go, of that old version. It's like things worked in a certain way.
Okay, got it.
And I'm still gravitating to that version of me. And sometimes, this is so bold of me to say, but I also suspect there's need for me to change. There's need for me to sort of let go of some things that I'm still holding on out of fear. Because I agree with them. They helped me get to a certain place. So I'm still struggling with doing it differently or in a certain way. So I feel like I'm still gravitating. So I think that's when I listen to the lyrics, it's like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Like you're bold. And that leads me to my second question. How do you know when to come back into the game? Because that's another thing. You can take a break and just take a break.
Yeah.
There's the idea of knowing when to take a break, which we have established, your headspace was not clear. But when do you say like, okay, guys,
it's time.
I'm ready. Let's make some music.
Oh my gosh. I guess my journey is so divine. I really see the hand of God in my life and how you have to say yes to opportunities. You just have to say yes, even when you're scared, even when you don't want to, even when you don't think you're ready. So I don't know if there's a moment when you're like, yes, it's time to come back. But it's more like saying yes to the invitation to be on Maina's podcast. It's saying yes to a gig I've been invited for on Saturday. In my heart, I'm like, I don't think I'm ready. But I have to say yes. I have to say yes because there's this story of a guy who's on a roof and it's flooded around his house and he's praying to God, God help me, God help me, God help me, save me. And then one boat comes and he's like, he lets it go because he's like, no, God is going to save me. You've had this story.
Yes. And then God later on comes.
And he's like, I sent you like 3 guys. I sent you like so many opportunities, but you said no. you didn't take it because you were scared, because you didn't think it was from me. No, if something comes, just say yes.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like you'll never be at you ready.
Ready.
Comfortably.
It's time for me
Let's
to
do it.
come back.
Yeah.
And it's possible, but it might take way longer. Like in my mind, it's when I've whacked off the weight, the baby weight, and now I have my figure 8 back, and that's when I'll do the interviews.
Yeah.
But it's come today, so now I'll what?
You have to. You've got to do it.
I have to say yes, because I'm here praying, God, open a door, God, open a door, God. I don't know what this will lead to.
Yeah.
So if I'm waiting for some agent from Hollywood
100%.
to call me
Yeah.
before, like, then I've missed the plot. All those small breadcrumbs God gives you, just follow. Just say yes, even if you're scared.
Just go for it.
Just go for
You
it.
got this.
You got this. Yeah.
You've mentioned spiritual alignment so many times, and I'm curious to know as an artist, because I have a strong belief.
Yeah.
And this is a prayer that I always make every now and time and again. Like, God, just just protect me from anything that will mess up with my spiritual alignment, because I know that directly affects what I feed into the community. So how important is that for you? And you know, if someone is listening, then how do you go about being just spiritual aligned? Yeah.
I think my biggest prayer now is just to be in God's will for my life.
Right.
I kind of let go of dreams, desires, manifesting, all those things that you're supposed to do to make your life happen. I couldn't do it anymore. So it's just like, God, whatever your will for my life is, yeah, I'm good with that.
Does that mean you don't plan? Like, hey.
I know, of course, like, I knew I was going to put out this project. Like, he orders my steps.
Right.
But I no longer have an ideal of what my life should look like. I no longer hold that, like, that this is how I want my life to turn out as. I've kind of let go of that, and I'm asking God now, in this moment in time, just show me what your will for me is.
So that's interesting for me to hear, because I have an ideal.
Yeah.
I have like a way I think, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I've had an ideal of how I think even maybe my future self would be like.
Yeah.
Maybe with this type of person, settled in a home like this.
And that's cool, yeah.
So you don't have that.
That's beautiful. So, where are we going in this convo? Because I'm like, this is gonna be so crazy. So I was that babe with the ideal and like, with all my willpower, I'm going to make it happen. And then when it didn't happen, by a certain age,
there's that as well.
Because, okay, I don't know about guys, but personally, me as a woman, when I hit 30 and I had not reached my ideal and I'm not seeing it happening, I really like had like a breakdown. Like, oh my gosh, I've worked so hard, like my whole 20s to make this thing happen. It's not happened. So now what? Is it gonna happen? Do I keep chasing it? I'm tired. I'm tired. So that's when I had my breakdown, that's when I like really looked for God. And then my breakthrough came when I let go. That's the thing. My breakthrough came when I was like, okay, I'm done chasing things, places, people, how my life should look, the vision, the manifestation, the vision boards, blah, blah, blah. I'm done. I'm tired. It's not happening. Actually, I'm heartbroken and I'm exhausted.
I'm going to say this. There's a book I was reading and they were saying, this is so important.
Yeah.
And it aligns with what you're saying.
Yeah.
That we have this idea of chasing the light. However, we are the light. And our job is to make sure that we get rid of anything that avoids us from seeing that we are the light.
Yes.
So a lot of times you're chasing something that is in us already.
Yes.
So you're chasing an ideal, but you are the ideal. So you're supposed to get rid of anything that prevents you from seeing that you're the ideal. That's interesting. Wow.
Because again, a lot of the things we want and we desire is because we ascribe worth and value to that. And we're looking for worth and value. Yeah. So when I am rich, when I have the relationship, when I'm established in my career, when people respect me, then I'll be worthy, then I'll be happy. And then if it doesn't happen and you've chased it, so understanding that actually, no, my value is intrinsic. I am worth, I am wealth, I am a child of God. I'm not the things I've been chasing. Like, I don't need them to be full.
Yeah.
So then when you're full and you're whole, they come.
Yeah.
Effortlessly. You don't have to chase. And that's probably one of the biggest lessons of my life. Like,
I like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Relax into being a child of God.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I like, wow. Okay. I like that. You not having anyone else featured on this, on the EP. Again, as a fan, I would have expected maybe
a rapper or something.
You know, yeah. Was that intentional?
So on this project, I really, really collaborated with the producers. I got to experience myself as a producer as well, being like, I like this, I don't like that. How can we add this vocal? Can we? So the collaboration was more production-wise, I feel. I worked with Dilly and Blocker Beats, and they are such amazing producers. But also because I was rebuilding, because I was coming to music again, the dream of music had died for me. And so music wasn't fun anymore. I didn't enjoy it. But here I am in this Perform Music Incubator program, and they've asked me to come on for another cohort. I have nothing in me, but I'm like, I have to say yes.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the boat that's come to rescue me. And if I say no, I'll miss the boat.
Yes.
So I said yes, not knowing how I was going to create music. Like the music in me had died. So also why there's not really collaborations with other artists was because it was just like this vulnerable space where I was learning how to create again. And I didn't want the extra pressure of, okay, now we have to figure out how to work together as artists. No, I just want to focus on the producers and be like, this is the idea I have. And also creating for the sake of creating. I wasn't trying to make a hit. I wasn't trying to be hot in the market. What you were saying about creating for art's sake, I really wanted to do that. Yeah. And it's hard to bring someone else on and be like, this is what we're doing. They might not share the same vision. Yeah. So I just wanted to fall in love with making music again and in the safe space of being with producers that I liked and trusted. Yeah.
I like that. And you can feel it. You can feel it.
I love that.
My last question for you was, what does the future entail? However, we have established, we don't have ideals over here.
We don't have ideals.
We're gonna take it as it comes. But I have a feeling it's going to be a rich future. Yeah. It's going to be a wholesome future.
Wholesome.
And I'm saying that also being very aware of the fact that you're super talented from like long time ago.
Yeah.
So I can imagine with all the wealth that you have inside of yourself, with now the full 360 awareness, I can imagine how rich your music will be and how deep it will be. It won't be just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Right now, for me, when I listen to you, and I'm going to listen to that EP again, there's like, damn, there was more to this than just a song.
Yeah.
Which I think is something that we are lacking, depth. And just sort of like doing it because you want to do it and you love what you're producing, rather than, oh, this is the new hot thing.
Yeah.
So let's see how we can fit into that trend. So so I'm not going to ask that question.
No, please ask it because I want to talk about it. Cool. What the future entails for me. I'm really passionate about brand partnerships and like with brands that I love. So every brand I've worked with has been a brand that I've actually owned. Like I loved for myself first before I engaged with the brand.
Like you used it.
Yes. So I love brand engagements. That's a huge thing for me. I just finished one with Oppo. Okay. I had one previously with Booch.
Yeah.
And so, I'm feeling like a makeup brand is coming in my... I'm really seeing...
Did you do your own makeup?
I did my own makeup today. Don't look too close. But like, I'm really passionate about makeup and I'm having to do my makeup a lot more because of interviews and stuff. So I'm seeing a makeup brand deal in my future, but also I'm performing again. I'm scared about that, but I feel like God is ordering my steps in that way. So I just see myself working a lot with brands and performing a lot more live, building my community, those 100, 200, 300 people, really building my community in the next couple of years. That's what I'm seeing. But overarching that, all of that is just being in God's will for my life. That's the future. Just being in God's will for my life.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
There you have it. To all the makeup brandies out there.
Hey.
Hit up. Hit up. For
Fenty.
Mayonde. Yes.
Maybelline.
Oh, yeah. We're not mentioning names.
Okay, we're not mentioning names.
But yeah, Mayonde, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you perform more and more. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for
You're
having
full of
me.
wisdom. Clearly, it's a fresh start.
Yeah, it's a fresh start.
It's an enriched start.
Yeah.
And I like that. I'm feeling inspired by this episode. I can see guys crying. Look at Carol. She's already crying there. So I'm giving you your flowers. Thank you for serving us with your music. Thank you for taking the time to better yourself for the sake of what you're producing to the world.
Amen.
And there you have it, our last episode of this season, such a wholesome level. Thank you so much for always being here. A reminder, I have a show on the 8th of June that will be at Jane Bhavan Auditorium. Get your tickets. We'll put it somewhere in the captions, but I want to see you then. So come through. And that's it from me. I will see you on the next one.